This is Ron White, one of America's great patriots.
Please welcome Ron White from Fort Worth, Texas.
Ron really pushes his exceptional memory to the max.
Hey, two-time U.S. memory champion Ron White.
Meet two-time U.S. memory champion Ron White.
Ron White, a Navy reservist from Grapevine, Texas, emerged as this year's winner.
Now I turn to the memory champion I'm next to. I promise I won't let anything happen to Ron White.
Memory champion from Texas, and that's Ron White.
It's nearly 7,000 words in all. U.S. Naval veteran Ron White remembered everyone.
Memory champion and veteran Ron White.
Transfer right now is America's memory champ, Ron White.
That is actually what Ron White is doing.
Ron won.
Ron White is both an Afghan veteran and a memory expert.
Ron White.
Ron White.
Ronnie White is Ron White.
Ronnie White.
Ron White.
Seven clubs.
Of course.
3 of spades. Two of spades.
Great.
8 of spades. 10 of diamonds. 8 of spades.
Yep.
Okay, I think we believe
Jack
it.
of clubs.
All right.
4 of diamonds.
Okay.
10 of hearts.
Yep.
Brent's not alone. All right. Great minds think alike, right? Okay. All right. How y'all doing? Good. I'm doing good too. I'm excited to be here. I'm happy to be here. Thanks to my friend Don Hobbs and my friend Chris over here. Chris, raise your hand. Thanks to him too. If he wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to be here. Let me ask you this question. How many of you in here think that you have a bad Jim Gardner? My good friend Jim Gardner. How many of you in here think that you have a bad memory? Anybody think they got a bad memory? Oh my gosh. All right, I got my work cut out for me, don't I? John, you do not have a bad memory. Your memory's a million times better than you think it is. 34 years ago, I thought I had a bad memory. I was going to the University of North Texas. Kinda. Yeah. I was enrolled, okay? After 2 semesters, I had a 0.9 GPA. Yeah, I appreciate the support there. My parents reacted totally differently. I got suspended from college for a year. And during that year suspension, I took a memory course, not because I thought it would help me with college. Obviously, I didn't care. I took it because I thought it was cool. This was 1991, and I'd seen the guys on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson in the 80s memorizing a deck of cards, and I wanted to learn how to do it. So I took a memory course. I learned how to do it. The way it happened was I was a telemarketer, and I was making calls every day. Can we clean your chimney? 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 It was a wonderful job, right? 34 years ago. And I called this guy one day, and it was in North Richland Hills where the company was, and I called this guy one day in Arlington. I said, can we clean your chimney? He said, we don't want our chimney cleaned. We're trying to sell our house anyways. And I said, well, if you're trying to sell your house, it makes sense you should clean your chimney. Kind of caught him off guard. He thought that was going to be a good objection. He said, you know what? You kind of caught me off guard. You got me with that one. You're right. He said, but I really don't want my chimney cleaned right now. But what I would like is a good telemarketer. Do you want to go to work for me as a telemarketer? And this was him talking to me. He said, I sell memory training seminars, and I'll pay you more than you're making now, which was a pretty safe bet. Okay? You know, right? Look, I was a chimney sweep telemarketer. If you would have robbed me back then, you would have just been practicing, all right? I started taking down his information, and my sales manager was like, hey, did you make a sale? I'm like, no, I got a new job. I'm going to teach memory seminars. She's like, you're the kid that just got kicked out of college? Good luck with that, pal. You'll be back here in 2 weeks. That was 34 years ago, right? Yeah. The reason, Tina, I start off with that story is in Brent's introduction and on the video you saw I've held some records and I was a memory champion. It's all true. But when you see that, you think, oh, this guy has some natural ability, some natural gift, and he is harnessing it to make a living. That's the furthest thing from the truth. I was a guy that a guy pulled off the street because he thought he was a good salesman. He sat me down in his chair and he said, I want you to sell memory seminars. I said, I don't think I'm smart enough. I just got kicked out of college. He said, memory has nothing to do with IQ, nothing to do with intelligence. He said, I could pull anybody off the street and teach him to be a memory champion. I just can't find a good salesman. I said, I'm your man. And I went to work for him 34 years ago. The system he shared with me that changed my life, I'm about to share with you. But before we do that, let's have a little bit of fun. Let's see. I'm gonna ask Steve over here. Steve, what's your favorite topic? Is it money? Is it sports? Is it reading? I love the Texas Rangers and I love jiu-jitsu. What is your favorite topic? Love money. All right, you're in the right place. They're making money here. I know they are. Leslie, what's your favorite topic? Giving back, and you have a great opportunity to do that. Maria, what's your favorite topic? Real estate. You're in the right spot, right? Jim Gardner, what's your favorite topic? Sports. Godwin, what do you like to talk about? They told me not to jump off stage, but this is very, I have to do it for just a few minutes. Food, do you like to cook it or eat it or both? So, what's your favorite topic? Travel. Dusty, what do you like to talk about? Sports, you have a favorite sport? Baseball, favorite team? Me too. All right. Stephanie, what's your favorite topic? Jesus. All right. I'll teach you how to memorize Bible verses if you like. John, what's your favorite topic? Fishing. Where do you like to go fishing? Colorado. Deborah, what do you like to talk about? Your grandson. Marissa, what's your favorite topic? Cooking. Rachel, what do you like to talk about? Business. Mike, what's your favorite topic? Sports. Bill over here, what do you like to talk about? What's that? Nice. My parents had a yellow Beetle when I was about 8 years old. I loved it. Still have fond memories. This is what we're going to do. If I met you today, and only if I said, if I met you today and I said there's going to be a point in my speech where I'm going to say, if I met you today, could you please stand up? Could you please do that? And only if I met you. If I did not ask you that question, do not stand up. This isn't beat up the memory guy time. Nicole, you can stand up if you like. What? Your name right here? Sarah. Okay, Sarah. So this is what we're going to do. Could everybody please put their hands over their name tags? Look around the room. There's no way in the world any person could get every single one of these names right. And I think you would agree with that. Look at that. But if I got 80% of the people's names who are standing right now, would you find that impressive? I'm going to go for 80%. We're going to do this as quickly as possible. Jim Gardner, you can have a seat. Godwin, you can have a seat. I believe this is Jason. You can have a seat. And Amber, and you are Brandy. And this is Lisa right here. And you, sir, are Vanna. And this is Kevin right here. And you are Stacy, the first two people I met. This is Lance right here. And you're Robert. That is also Robert. That is Derek over there. You are Tim. And this is Wendy. And this is Cindy right here. And you are Lori, I believe. And this is Lugina. And you, sir, are Joe. And I believe this is Brian. And you are Lance. And we have Dante right here. And you are Virginia. And this is Jen. And you are Krista. This gentleman right here is Mike. Is that right? And then you, sir, are Eric. And this gentleman is Jared, and this is Sharon right here, and you are Luke, and this is Andrew, and you are Mike or Michael, and this is Jonathan right here, and you are Eileen, and this gentleman over here is Jason, and that is Robert back there. This gentleman over here is Jeff, and then I'm going to come over this way, and this is Alexis right here, and you are Angel, and that is Josh right there, that is Crystal, and you are Brandon, and that is Marcy, and you, sir, are Bill, I believe, and this is Mike right here, and you are Evan, and I believe this is Rachel, and you are Marissa, and this is Stacy right here, and you are Deborah. This gentleman right here is Jason, and that guy right there is Noe. This is Kevin right here. You, sir, are Edgar. That is Jesus. And you are Cassandra. And this is Anthony. That is also Anthony. And you are Angel, I believe. And this lady over here is Ashley. And you are Jane. I believe this is Peter. And you are Alexander. This is VJ. And you are Andy. And I believe this is Melanie right here. And you, sir, are Josh. Is that right? And then this is Crystal. And you are Russell. That is Rebecca De Mornay. Not actually, but she was an actress in Risky Business. Looks a lot like her. And that is Mindy right there. And that is Audra. And then, let me get this row first because this gentleman right here is Jerry. Linda's not here. And this is Anna. And you are Kenny. And I believe this gentleman is Luke. And you are Tommy. And this gentleman is Daniel. And you are Mark. This gentleman right here is Jaden. Is that right? And you are Paul. And then we have Brittany right here. And you are Eric. That lady over there is Claire. You are Julia. Met him in the bathroom. We didn't shake hands. This lady right here is Michelle. And you are Gina. And we have this guy right here. Is it Tyler? Is that right? And this is James. And then you are LaQuesta. And then we have Casey over here. And you are Debbie. Gave me a really fun way to memorize her name. This is Selena right here. And you, sir, are a cool guy. I'm going to come back to you. And this is Beth over here. And John, great speech. And this is Anna. And I believe you are, is it Crystal? Is that right? And this is Beth over here. And then we have Tina. We have Leslie. We have Nicole. And you are Sarah. And this is Claudia. And this you are Maria, I believe. And then over here we have Caitlin, and you are Lauren, and this is Tara, and you are Sonali, and that is, you are Courtney. This is Lori over here, and you are Tina, and that is Sarah right there, and you are Jamie, and this is Nicole, and you, sir, are an awesome guy. I don't remember meeting you. I don't think we met. You're playing with me. Sit down, right? Oh, wait, did we meet? Sarah, go ahead and have a seat. This is David, and then you, sir, are Steve, and this is Brandy right here, and you are Heidi. I believe this is Peggy right here, and you are Roy, and this is Betsy right here, and you are Lisa. And then over here we have Rhonda, and we have Dawn, I believe, and this gentleman right here is Dustin. You're Amanda, and that is also Amanda. This gentleman right here is John, I believe, and you are Stephanie, and this is that right? So please sit down. It freaks me out if you don't. And this is Cindy right here, and you are Susie, and we have Kim, and you are Cheryl, and this is Denise right here, and you are Stacy. This gentleman is Johnny, and you are Mia, and this gentleman right here is Chu, and you are Lore, and this is Brooks right here, and you are Dawn, I believe. This is Felicia, and you are Amy, and let's see, back here we have Johnny, and this over here is, this is Gloria, and you are Jules. And then I'm going to come back up here. I called you Beth. I'm sorry, Kathy. And then, let's see. We got everybody but 3. Dylan, I called you Lance. I apologize for that. Everybody but 3. That's pretty good, right? Everybody but 4, okay? 5. All right. A minute ago, I asked you what's your favorite subject. Some of you said money, sports, reading, real estate, traveling. There was a book. It was written in 1936. It's one of the best-selling books ever written. The author of the book was a guy named Dale Carnegie. What was Dale Carnegie's best-selling book? Just say it if you know it. How to Win Friends and Influence People. How many of you in here have at least heard of the book? Awesome. 2 important money-making facts come out of that book. And the first fact is this. According to Dale Carnegie, everybody's favorite subject is not the Texas Rangers. That's a fact, right? Everybody's favorite subject isn't the Texas Rangers or money or sports or reading or travel or cooking. Everybody's favorite subject, according to one of the best-selling books of all time, is actually what? That's right. My name's Ron White, and according to Dale Carnegie, what's my favorite subject? That's right. If you don't believe me, just talk to me after the meeting, and I'll prove it to you, all right? My ex-girlfriend said the reason we got along so well is we were both in love with the same man. Ex-girlfriend. Okay. Everybody's favorite subject, according to Dale Carnegie, is themselves. The second fact that comes out of that book is the sweetest sound to a person's ear is the sound of what? Their name. Now, be honest with me, knowing that. How many times have you been doing an open house and somebody walks in and you shake their hands and 2 seconds later you have no idea what they said their name was? Does that have anybody here? Somebody take 2 hands up on that, right? And in that moment, the most honest thing you could say, you're trying to sell them a house. They've just told you their name. 2 seconds later, the literal most honest thing you could say that nobody ever says is this. Hey, you know, a few minutes ago when we were introduced, I wasn't even listening to you, right? That would be the honest approach. Most of us try to be sneaky, though, right? We try to get the name out of the conversation. We'll say, hey, I just want to spell your name the right way. And what do they say? There you go, Bill, right? Yeah. Or B-O-B, right? You're like, oh, I didn't know if it had 3 B's or 2. I was just, so you do Bob with 2 B's? Okay, all right, good. Now, my name is Ron White. And for all y'all who heard Ron White was going to be the speaker and you came in here to hear tater salad, I apologize, all right? A few years ago, 20, 30 years ago, I was on a call with a woman, and at the end of the call, she said, sir, I want to make sure I spell your first and your last name right. Will you spell it for me? Nobody in the history of the world has ever struggled with Ron White, okay? She'd forgotten it. And I said, and I knew it. And I said, ma'am, don't worry about the spelling. It's spelled exactly. I thought it was funny too. She didn't think it was so funny. There was a pause on the other end of the line, and she said, well, would you mind sounding it out for me, please? Here's the point. When you forget a name, you didn't just forget their name. You forgot their favorite subject. You forgot the sweetest sound of their ear. How many of you have sold a home, a large home, and it was a big commission for you, big sale, or just an average sale, or any home? And 6 weeks later, you're at the baseball game, the soccer game, the PTA meeting, and you look over there, and that person's walking straight towards you that you sold a home to. And they're walking towards you, Tina, and they're saying, oh, Tina, the house is great, the neighborhood is great. Oh, Tina, I love it so much. Tina, you remember me, don't you? Look, I remember the address, I remember the commission check, I know it has a swimming pool, but I don't know your favorite subject of the sweetest sound of your ear. Remember this. I just jumped off the stage again. Memory equals relationships. Relationships equal business. Memory equals relationships. Relationships equal business. You know, a lot of people, when they see a memory guy, they think, oh, that's a trick like how to memorize your grocery list. No. It is a skill to build relationships so you can sell a home to somebody, remember their name, become friends with them, and then when their cousin needs a house, they think of you, right? You build relationships one way, by remembering people's names and faces. I'm going to show you how I did that and how I remember the names, but let's have just a little bit more fun before we dive into this. In 2009, I set the record for the fastest to memorize a deck of cards in the United States. They shuffled up a deck of cards and they put it on the table and they said, go. When they said, go, Brandy, I picked up the cards, I looked at them as fast as I could, and I set it back down. I did it in 1 minute and 27 seconds. 87 seconds for 52 cards. 1.5 seconds a card. Then I got another deck of cards and I reassembled the second deck to match the first deck. They flipped them over. It was a perfect match. That record stood for 2 years. And then a freak of nature came along. My record was 1 minute and 27 seconds. The current record is 19 seconds. Mine was impressive too. Very impressive. But I'm not getting that record back, all right? It's his, all right? I am 52 years old. He's 32 years old. He was an All-American athlete, PhD student, genius IQ, beautiful wife. He's a jerk. And, yeah, I don't hold these records anymore. He does. He's actually a good friend. We text once or twice a month. But I still like to have some fun with it. So this is what we're going to do. If you have a pen and a paper, get it out. We're going to write down a number. You're going to write down a number. I'm not going to write down anything. I'm going to start with Joe over here. Joe, I want you to call out loud a number between 10 and 99, a 2-digit number for the group. 10, so everybody write down 10. I'd say put it at the top left and make horizontal rows, not vertical columns, but do it however you want. John, over here, a 2-digit number. 50, okay, 10 and then 50. The gentleman that I got stuck on your name, can you tell me what letter it starts with? Yes. J. You sure? Positive. What's your name? Oh my gosh, yes, Uncle Jesse from the Dukes of Hazzard. That's what I thought of, and I thought of that beard was so perfect. Okay, Jesse, 2-digit number. 36, 36. Roy Rogers. I know, but that's how I remembered your name. He was Dukes of Hazzard, you were Roy Rogers. Roy, a 2-digit number? 16. Anna, a 2-digit number? 23, Michael Jordan. Courtney right here, a 2-digit number? 22. Somebody asked Ronald Reagan how his meeting with Desmond Tutu went, and he said, so-so. Thank you for laughing, Brandy. Brandy, a 2-digit number? 11, okay. Maria, 17. Tara, 32. Dawn, 13, all right. Gentleman right here, a 2-digit number. 12, all right. Let's see, how about David right here, a 2-digit number? 34. Gentleman over here, I swore I didn't meet you, but tell me your name and prove me wrong. I did meet you, Greg, you're right. Greg, a 2-digit number. What'd you say? 84. Let's see. How about Luke over here in this group of guys over here? Luke, a two-digit number? 93. All right. Betsy? 70? Okay. I forgot to ask. Well, I didn't forget to ask. I'm the memory guy. But I failed to ask. Is everybody memorizing this as we go? All right. Let's see. How about Claudia? A two-digit number? 44. 44. Tony over here, a two-digit number? 28. 28. Lauren? 38. Okay. We're going to just do two more. How about Lugina? 63. Okay. And Amber? 99. Literally the last one. Okay, if I did the last possible two-digit number. If I did the math right, I just called on 20 people and I just asked you for a two-digit number, so you're looking at a 40-digit number. I'll give you about 10 seconds here. I want you to memorize it forwards, backwards, in and out of order. 10 seconds, can't be that hard. Go. Does everybody got it? Does anybody got it? Let me ask you this question. If I asked you right now to say that 40-digit number forwards and backwards from memory, how many of you in here would agree with me that it might be a challenge for you to do that? Keep this in mind. This should be easier for you than me. You've had a chance to see the numbers. I haven't. The eye is the strongest part of the memory. How many times have you said to somebody, I am so good with faces, I never forget a face. I just can't think of your big deal. My dog remembers your face, all right? He's never once gotten a name right. You had a chance to see them, write them down, review them. I use the weakest part of the memory, but the best business people are the best what? Let's see how well I do here. I believe that 40-digit number should be pretty close to 10503616, and then 232211, and then 1732, and then 131234, and then 8493704428386399. Is that right? All right. If that's the 40-digit number forwards, now I'm going to say it backwards. No, I'm just kidding. If I could do that, I'd be on that show on the National Geographic Channel, Brain Games. And I am. That 40-digit number going backwards, starting with a 9, is 9936838447394843, and then 2131237. 1, and then 11222616305001. Is that right? Woo! All right. Who would like to know how I did that? All right, Leslie would. Good, because it's the only thing I know how to teach you. All right. So 34 years ago, I learned how to do this. The guy taught me how to do it. He said, Ron, here are the 5 steps. The 5 steps to this. If you have these 5 keys, you can remember anything. These 5 steps are focus, file, picture, action, review. 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 You say them with me. What are the 5 things? Focus, file, picture, action, review. Number 1, focus. Good nutrition and exercise will help your memory. When I was training for the 2009 USA Memory Championship, I lost 20 pounds, and I became king of the nerds that year. The following year, 2010, training for the next year's tournament, I lost 20 pounds again. People are always like, congrats, dude, you lost 40 pounds. I did not. It was the same 20 pounds, okay? There's a lot of rum and coke and carrot cake in between those wins, right? But when I was focused on my memory and I wanted to win that tournament, I knew the better fit my body is, the better fit my brain is. Let me tell you what, the most overlooked brain food is water. There you go. Who said that? There you go. The most overlooked brain food is water. A dehydrated brain can't focus. I weigh 200 pounds. I divide that by 2. That means I got to drink 100 ounces of water a day. Not just to be where I should be, not to be over and extra above. Divide your weight by 2, drink that many ounces just to be hydrated. A dehydrated brain can't focus. If you drink coffee or caffeine, you're going to have to drink even more water because that dehydrates you, or it has the potential to. The first key to your memory is focus. Good nutrition, exercise, spinach, blueberries, drinking plenty of water, all valid stuff. But if Michael Phelps, an Olympic athlete, walked in this room, could he memorize 150, 170 names and a 40-digit number? No. It's more than just good nutrition. It's mainly technique. It's 1% to 2% nutrition, 98% technique. How many of you think you're not good at remembering names? Let me give you a technique to do this. Here's why you're not good at remembering names. You have an open house. Next time you have an open house, do this one thing and your retention of names is going to double. I promise you. They're walking through, here's what's happening. They're walking through the door and you're thinking, what do I think of them? What do they think of me? Are they going to like this house? What should I tell them about this house? What kind of loan could they qualify for? Is this going to be the right house? Do I still have that stain in my shirt from Burger King right here? Does my hair look okay? Hi, my name is Ron. And then they say their name in that moment. And that is the reason you don't remember their name. You're not focused. We got to flip that on its head. When that person walks into the home or the house, and by the way, this is anything. You go to a networking event, you go here, you go anywhere. You're meeting a new person, you must be focused. As you're walking towards them, get all those other questions out of your brain and ask yourself this question. What is their name? 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 Do not say that out loud. What's the question you're going to ask yourself when you're walking towards somebody from now on? What's the first key to your memory? Focus. What's the second key to your memory? You need a place to store the data. If you don't have files in your brain, this is what's going on. Somebody walks into that open house and they say their name is Sarah. It goes in your ear, the floor of your memory. You meet Greg, in your ear, the floor of your memory. You meet Jesse, in your ear, the floor of your memory. You meet Maria, in your ear, the floor of your memory. You meet Steve, in your ear, the floor of your memory. Brian, that house on Maple Street that has a swimming pool, you want to remember that. That house on Pine Street that has near a school, you want to remember that. You go, Don Hobbs told me, man, they got so much things they got to remember with new contracts and stuff because the laws are all changing and they got all this new stuff to remember, right? You got all that stuff. You're trying to go to these classes and learn it, and it's going in your brain and on the floor of your memory. You've got listing presentations in your ear, the floor of your memory. Then you meet Doug, and then you meet Steve, and then you meet Brian, and then you meet Karen, and then you meet Wendy. And then 6 weeks later, you're at the baseball game, and you see that person that you sold a home to. All that real estate classes you're learning, all of those names you met, it's all on the floor of your brain. And they're walking right towards you. And they say, John, how are you doing, man? It's so good to see you. And John, those gerbils that run around in all of our brains, they panic, and they go, oh my God. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. No, oh my God, I know their name's in here somewhere. No, that was the class I went to. That was the book I read. No, that's my password. No, that's something else. Oh my God, I can't find it. 2 hours later, you're driving home, and what happens? Yeah, your mind goes, ha, look what I found. You're like, I could have used it at the baseball game. That person has a sphere of influence, according to Brian Tracy, of 260 people, the people that I see at PTA meetings, the dry cleaners, the next door neighbors. Why didn't you give me the name when I was at the game and I could have built a relationship with them? Well, I didn't do it because you threw it on the floor of the brain. If you would have put it in a file, I could have given it to you. What's a file? In terms of memory, a file is just simply a location where you store data in your brain, a real location that you can visualize. How about Caitlin? Am I saying that right? I always hesitate on you. Pick a number between 5 and 20. Tell me what it is. 7. The seventh pair of numbers on that list was 11. So if y'all counted to the seventh pair, you'll see it was 11. I jumped to the seventh file. What is a file? A file is a spot in a room that I have predetermined and pre-memorized. Let me show you what I mean in this room. Our first file in this room is going to be the corner. Everybody say 1 is the corner. What's 1? 2 is the speaker. So what's 2? What's 1? 2. How many of you have kids in school? Please teach this to your children. We got Russell over here going to college at UT. There is no greater, memory equals relationships, relationship equals business. This is something that's going to put more money in your pocket. But if you have a kid in school, please teach this to them. What's 1? 2. 3 is the curtains. What's 3? 4 is that big bright light right there. So what's 4? 5 is the booth. So what's 5? 6, let's make the exit sign right here, this last one right here. So what's 6? 7 is this area of tables. What's 7? 8 is the projector. What's 8? 9 is the stage. What's 9? And 10 is build 25. What's 10? Let's say them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Booth, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And when I say teach this to your kids, number pieces of furniture in your house. Your house. Have them do 5 in a room. So you gotta be focused and you gotta have files. What's the next thing you need to memorize something? Whatever you want to remember is you have to have a picture for it. You have to be able to see it. By the way, that's my Instagram. I just crossed 200,000 followers. It was crazy. 6 weeks ago, I had 13,000 followers. I hired this coach, and he said, Ron, this is what you do. Go up to people on the street and say, hey, I got a memory challenge for you. If you'll do it, I'll give you $50. I started doing that 6 weeks ago, and I've gone from 13,000 to 202. If you want to see what all the fuss is about, right there, okay? But whatever you want to remember, I got one video that's got 5 million views, all organic. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen. Maybe you can get some ideas for your business. That's why I'm kind of sharing that with you. Focus, file, picture. Whatever you want to remember, it has to be a picture. So for the number 22, I thought of a 22 rifle. 23, I said my picture out loud. Does anyone remember what I said? Michael Jordan. The name Steve is a stove. Lisa's the Mona Lisa. Karen is a carrot. Brian is a brain. Doug is Dig. Greg is a keg. Jesse is Uncle Jesse. All right. Roy is Roy Rogers on a horse. Whatever you want to remember, you have to turn it into a picture. If you want to get my pictures for 1,600 names for free, you can scan that right there and get it. If you don't want to get it, that's okay. Take 2 years, build your own list. You'll be fine. So focus, file, picture. What's the next step to improving your memory? Action. How many of you in here have ever been in a car accident? How many is more than 20 years ago? All right. Peggy, was it day or night time? Were you driving or was somebody else? Did you reckon to them or did they reckon to you? Okay, I'm not a cop, but you sound really honest, right? So you know the time of day, how it occurred, where it occurred, and all the details, right? How many years ago? About 20. Could you tell me where you drove last week just as quickly? No. Last week, no recall. 20 years ago, she didn't have to hesitate all the details of it. How many of you know where you were on September 11th? Action and emotion. If you involve action and emotion in these pictures, you will remember it. If you don't, you won't. Even if it was 20 years ago, you'll still remember it. Greg, Jesse, I hate to break the news to you, but there was just no emotion in it for me, all right? I was like, bah, I'm just kidding, all right? It's no offense, you guys understand, right? But that's what it was. There was not enough emotion and action. Focus, file, picture, action. What's the last step? Today I walked around and I memorized all your names in the first pass through. But I continued walking around for the next hour staring at you, creeping you out. That was the review stage. I don't have to be creepy when I do it. I just prefer to be. Say the 5 steps with me. What are the 5 steps to improving your memory? File. What's the most overlooked brain food? What's the question you're going to ask yourself when somebody walks through that door? Now we're going to take 10 pictures, and I'm going to attach them around this room with action and emotion, and you're going to remember them. We're going to remember them together. Do not write them down. Number 1, what's our first location, our first file? I want you to imagine a kung fu master over there, and he's got the hugest brain. So who is over there? What does he have? Imagine he's kicking, right? Because that involves action, and then he goes like this. Shh. So what's over there? What does he have? What's he doing? What's our next file? I want you to imagine a rope is tied around that speaker over there, and you're having a tug of war with it. You're having a tug of war, and you're like, oh my gosh, come on. And then finally you're just like, I'm just going to walk away. I'm not going to fight with that speaker. Tug of war and walking away. What's over there? And what's on the speaker? Number 3, what's our file? On the curtain, I want you to see Brent Gove and John. John right here. Brent Gove and John, and let's just say they're both about 40 years old. So Brent Gove and John over there, where are they where are they? Who is over there? How old are they? And they're both topping on calculators. So what are they topping on? What's on one? What has he got? What's he doing? What's right here? Who are the 2 people over here? How old are they? What are they doing? Number 4, what's your file? On the light, I want you to see Brent Gove over there, and he's saying, follow me, follow me. And we're shining the spotlight on him. What's Brent Gove saying over there? Number 5, what's your file? On the booth, I want you to see a marathon, and they're running around this, and these marathon runners are running around, and they're getting so exhausted, their legs are tired, they want to quit, but they keep going and going. Keywords marathon. Let's say the keyword is persistence. What's over here on 5? Let's say the first 5. 1. What's he got? What's he doing? What's right here? What's on the curtains? What's on the light? And what's he saying? What's on 5? Number 6, what's your file? I want you, everybody imagine that exit sign is a magnet and everybody's trying to get really close to that exit sign. Let's just say really close. What are we trying to do with that exit sign? Number 7, what's your file? I want you to imagine all these people over here are taking notes. You're all taking notes. So what are y'all all doing? What is on the exit sign? What's the people in the chairs doing? Number 8, what's your file? On the projector, I want y'all to imagine the book, Great Expectations by F. Scott Fitzgerald. There's a book over here. If you haven't ever seen it, I got to stay up here. If there's a book over there, Great Expectations, if you don't know that book and you can't imagine the book up there, just imagine somebody with an axe, expect, that might help you. Great Expectations. What is over here? What's y'all's next one? I want you to imagine that these steps are a swimming pool and it's got maple syrup in it. What's right here? What's in it? Last one, I want you to imagine this is a school and it's surrounded by pine trees. What's over here? What's it surrounded by? Let's see if we can say all these together. Who's over here? What has he got? What's he doing? What's right here? What's over here? And how old are they? What are they typing on? What's Brent Gove saying? What's the word over here? What are we doing with that exit sign? Getting close to it, yeah. What are they doing over here? What's the book over here? What's here? And what's here? Give yourselves a hand. You did a great job. Now, who cares? Okay, Ron, who cares? I can look around the room, and I can see things around the room, and I can list them back. Cool. How's that going to help me sell one more home? How's that going to help my kids in school? Well, let's go back to how Brent Gove started this meeting today. He encouraged all of you to take notes, and I believe it might have been Nicole who said, try to get 10 takeaways from this conference, right? Imagine that, if you can get 10 things from John said, 10 things from what Brent said, and have them in your memory. Have them in your notes. That's the first step, and Brent encouraged you to do that. But what if you could have them in your brain, too? The 5 steps that John talked about earlier, what'd you call them, the 5 what? 5 ways to crush 2025. Somebody list all 5 other than John. Don't read them. Okay, without reading them, nobody. But what if you could all do it? There's a Kung Fu master over there. Master, what does he have? Master your mind. And the first key was silence. Silence your brain. The first key to John's talk was master your mind. The first key to that was silence. Number 2, what do we have over here? Now you can read what number 2 was in John's speech. What was 2? Though, yeah, the savers, but we're going to move to the 2 big point. What was the number 2 big point? Detachment, right? Your number 2 big point was detachment. Well, the savers, but you had master your mind, detachment, letting go, right? Detachment. You're detaching from the thing, you're letting go. And the next one was, what are they all typing on? It's a numbers game. John and Brent, they're wonderful. They're 2 10s, right? 2 10s, and how old are they? And what are they typing on? Because it's a first key was what? Master your mind. The second one, detachment. The third one, numbers game. And what's the numbers? 2 10 40. Over here, Brent Gove, what's he saying? Become a leader. Over here, be persistent. I believe your 5 keys were master your mind, detachment. It's a numbers game. Become a leader, persistence. Review that until you got it. So when you're driving home, you're remembering his presentation. Brent Gove in his presentation said it's all about proximity, getting close. It's all about proximity. What are you doing to the exit sign? Brent Gove encouraged you to and come in here with great expectations. And then I added 2 at the end. Maybe instead of doing this, you wanted to memorize information on listings. You wanted to have key listings in your brain at all times. Oh, I want to always remember that house on Maple Street is near a swimming pool. I want to remember that house on Pine Street is near a school. Maybe you could fill up 10 or 20 pieces of furniture in your house with information on listings. So when you're out just talking to people in life and somebody says, is there a house that has a nice swimming pool? You think, oh yeah, the one on Maple Street. Is there a house that's near a school? Oh yeah, the one on Pine Street. There's so many applications for this. You could take John's speech, put it around the room, and remember it. You could take Brent's speech. How many of you want what John and Brent have in their brain in your brain? That's how you could get it in your brain. Take notes and then transfer it there. Information on listings. Let's flip it around. How many of you in here ever have to give a speech or a presentation? Write out your speech the night before, then walk around your house and imagine it on the pieces of furniture. And then when you give your presentation, give it without any notes. Does that make sense? What was number 5? What was number 9? Could I get 3 or 4 people to walk up here on stage? If you know your name and you're able to say your name, you're able to volunteer for this. If you're unable to do those 2 things, don't waste my time. All right, Tony's on his way up. Anna's on the way up. Nicole's on the way up. Brandy, all right, here we go. Give him a hand. All right. All right. So, I'm going to pretend like I never met these people before. Tony, you can come up here. I'm going to pretend like I never met these people, and I'm going to show you how I remembered their names and how you can implement this system. What are the 5 steps? What are they? Focus, file, picture, action, review. What's the question I'm asking as I'm walking up towards these people? What's the question I'm asking? What's their name? What's their name? What's their name? As I get right about here, I switch. Oh, you're not Tony. I'm sorry. Charles. Okay, good to meet you. So you're walking. There's no light over there, all right, guys? I got 52-year-old eyes. As you're walking towards the people, you're asking yourself, what is their name? What is their name? What is their name? And then you switch from what is their name to what stands out to me on their face. Every single one of you, I have a distinctive feature on their face, okay? On all of your faces. That's why I had to jump off the stage. So I'm walking here, what's their name, what's their name, what's their name? Now you get right about here. These people are walking into your open house. After you've focused your brain, the first thing I would encourage you to do is look for a file on their face. Dimple in her chin. Her hair. Her eyes. His beard. Boom. Instantly, I know what their files are. As they walk in, select something that stands out on their face right away. Don't question it. Just go with it, okay? So, we're walking to her. What's her name? What's her name? What's her name? And what did I say stood out on her face? Dimple on her chin. Hi, my name is Ron. Nikki. Good to meet you. So I think of this is her file. That's her file. I imagine she's got a little cut here, just a little nick right there, all right? And a nick on her chin. So what is on her chin? An action and emotion. Then I walk over here. What I say stood out on her? Hi, my name's Ron.
Hi, I'm Anna.
Anna. I imagine you could, I was saying Anna. I know. I think ants, for Anna, it has nothing to do with you. Once an Anna got really upset with me, like, what is it? It has nothing to do with you. It's predetermined. Just like John is a toilet, okay? So I've got ants all in her hair. There's ants going all down her hair, and they're on her because she doesn't pronounce it Anna, she pronounces it Anna. So the ants, and just remember they're on her for Anna. So what's on her hair? What's right here? Cut. What's her name? What's her name? Hi, my name's Ron.
Hi, Brandy.
Brandy. Her eyes are distinctive to me. For Brandy, what would you think of? The what? That's what I think of, liquor. So I got brandy, and I'm pouring brandy all in her eyes right there. There's brandy coming out of her eyes, and I'm drinking it up. What's in her eyes? What's here? What's here? What's here? Drink. My name's Ron, and your name? Charles. Charles. Okay. Woo. You go sit down, man. Okay, no. Charles. Yeah. So what would y'all use for Charles? How's it easy? What do you say? Okay, Charles with an S. Okay. So for Charles, I use charcoal. That's a predetermined picture I've used for 30 years. So I would imagine I'm coloring his beard with charcoal, but maybe I just imagine part of that is I'm making an S motion right here, right? So I would change it up a little bit. So what's his name? Her name. Her name? Her name? And his name. Give these folks a hand. They did a great job. That is how you're going to have to get good at remembering names. Every time you meet somebody from now on, turn their first name into a picture. And if you do 5 today, meet 3 or 4 people today at lunch. Turn their name into a picture. Imagine it on a distinctive feature on their face. You don't have to tell them that their distinctive feature is their big ears. You keep that part to yourself, right? But turn their name into a picture, imagine it on their face, and then review as you walk back in the room. Do 3, 5, 10, 15 names. But you start remembering names that way. What's the most overlooked brain food? What are you going to say to people whenever you're walking towards people at lunch? What are you going to say to them? What's their name? What are the 5 keys that you need to remember anything? Focus, file, picture, action, review. Let's see if we can remember the 5 points to John's speech. Master your first key is the silence, right? Well, number 2, the second point was detachment, letting go. The third point was in 2:10:40, Brent Gove is saying, be a leader. You have to be, it's all about proximity. You need to, and you have to have, the street on Maple Street on Pine Street has a, woo, you guys are sharp. Yeah. As I wrap up my talk here today, let me conclude with a story. And here's the story. I hope you've seen how you could use this to give speeches without notes. Remember names and faces. Maybe help your kids with their homework. Memorize listing presentations. You're going to all these new classes because the laws have changed and you got so much you got to remember. I hope you don't see perfectly how this all applies, but hopefully I've given you just a little bit of hope. Hopefully you're going to number 20 or 30 pieces of furniture in your house, and the next time you go to one of these real estate classes, you're going to do your best to turn everything into a picture. Maybe you're even going to message me on Instagram and say, Ron, here are my pictures, or this is what I got to study, what do I do? Hopefully you got a little bit of hope on that. And as you have a little bit of hope, let me tell you a story. So I am 52 years old. I've been doing this for 34 years. At the age of 28, I had been in this business for a decade. And I was 28 years old. I've been in my career a decade. I wasn't looking for a career change. I definitely wasn't looking to join the military. But that's exactly what I did. That year, September 11th, 2001, I was 28 years old. I've been a decade into this career, but I knew that this was my time. My dad had served in Vietnam. My grandfather had served in World War II. I got his World War II uniform hanging up in my living room today. So I come from a military family, and there was no question in my mind what the right decision for me was. So after September 11th, me and my best friend Brian walked into a recruiting station, and we joined the military. We both served as reservists, and we did it for 8 years each, in 1 week in the month, 2 weeks in the summer. In 2005, he was deployed to Afghanistan. And in 2007, I was deployed to Afghanistan. Within 2 hours of being in the country, I did my first convoy, and over the next 5 months, I did 51 convoys. I came back safe and sound. Not everybody did. 22-year-old kid from Ohio who pulled off the base the day after I went on the same mission he did. He never came back. The kid sitting beside him came back, and he came back without his eyes. And that happened 18 years ago. And for the last 18 years, one of them never came back, the other came back without his eyes. And for 18 years, I've been able to travel around the country and speak at conferences and have a lot of fun with my life that those gentlemen didn't get to have. And so to honor the men and women that didn't make it back, I memorized them. There's 2,400 of them, rank, first name, last name. I had this wall created. I numbered 2,400 pieces of furniture. We did 10 in this room. I did 2,400 over about a 4-week period. And then I assigned each fallen hero a piece of furniture. Master Sergeant Evander Andrews, Specialist John Edmonds, Private First Class Christopher Stonecipher, Machinist Mate Fighter Prince Bryant Davis, ET3 Benjamin Johnson, CIA Agent Johnny Mike Spann, 2,400 people, 7,500 words, because it was ranked first name, last name. It took me 10 months to memorize, and it takes me about 10 or 11 hours to write it out. This was in downtown Fort Worth 12 years ago. I set the wall up. There was no names on it. Imagine you're at the Vietnam Wall, and somebody is writing the Vietnam Wall from memory. That's what I do, but I do it for Afghanistan. I'm just going from piece of furniture to piece of furniture to piece of furniture in the order of their death. So you're at the Vietnam Wall, and this guy's writing it out in the order of their death. Same thing, but for Afghanistan. And this is the end of a 12-hour day at South Fork Ranch in Dallas. This is the end of another 12 or 13-hour day. People will hear about it on the radio, and they'll go out there to find a name. I'll stand back and salute the men and women that didn't make it back whenever I'm done. I've done it on Fox and Friends morning show 3 times. This mom hugged me and said, "Thank you for not letting people forget about my son." Her son was with a group of 6 men, and somebody who was supposed to be on our side turned on him and opened up his AK-47 and started shooting, and they all scattered. 5 of them went down. Her boy was the last one, and as he was running away, he got shot in the lungs and right through his head. She said, "Thank you for not letting people forget about my son." That grandmother waited for 4 hours for me to write her grandson's name. And this little boy, Callan, didn't want to meet me until his grandmother said, "Callan, Ron served in Afghanistan where your daddy was." And Callan started looking at me. Did this guy know my dad? Is this what it was like to look at my dad? And I looked at Callan and I said, "Callan, your daddy was a hero. Here's my promise to you. For the rest of my life, I'm going to give speeches on memory, and I'm going to tell them about the Afghanistan wall." And Callan, every time I do that, I'm going to tell him your daddy's name. Private First Class Austin Staggs, because he was a hero. It's okay. It's okay. I appreciate it. It's okay. So I memorized 7,500 words in sequence because it's what's important to me. I did it with the same system I shared with you today. What is important to you? Is it remembering what John and Brent teach? Perfect. Imagine it on pieces of furniture in your house. Is it a speech you want to give? Perfect. Imagine it on pieces of furniture in your house. Is it helping your kids with their homework? Perfect. Imagine pieces of furniture in your house. Is it remembering names and faces? Perfect. Imagine the pictures on the faces, not furniture in your house. That's the only difference. In the last minute or two I have here, you have a piece of paper on your table. Let me walk you through that really quickly. The first page is 8 top brain foods for good mental health. There's spinach, blueberries, omega-3s, drinking plenty of water, turmeric, fish, oil, cocoa. The next page, 15 ways to keep your brain fresh or healthy as you age. Take fish oil, exercise, read something daily, eat healthy, engage in debate, turn off the TV, cholesterol, skip down, eat curries, my favorite food, don't do drugs, cut alcohol consumption. You don't have to give up drinking as I did, but I will. I haven't had a drink in 5.5 years. Okay, yeah, thank you very much. I had a problem. I was one of those people who, when I drank a little, I turned into a different person, and that person drank a lot, okay? I don't know who that guy was, but he was a maniac. And 5.5 years ago, y'all know who Jim Rohn is? 5.5 years ago, I gave a speech, and I memorized 100 names in the room and a 50-digit number with the most insane hangover. And I called my best friend, Kyle Wilson, the president, owner of Jim Rohn International. I said, "Kyle, man, I got some problems. I just gave a speech to 100 people, and I memorized all their names, and I have the worst hangover." He said, "Ron, I'm going to challenge you to not drink for 30 days. And that was 5.5 years ago. So I owe Kyle Wilson that thank you. Flip it over to the last page. How many of you have kids in school? If you do not get this online course for them, your children need to be taken away from you and given to someone who loves them, okay? There is no greater system. Let me say this with me. Memory equals relationships equal. If you could memorize 100 names this year, would that put a couple grand in your pocket? Probably. Could you do 100 people this year? You probably could. I did it this morning. Here's the online course. You get lifetime access. It never expires. And what do I mean by lifetime? I mean that for the rest of your life, you'll have access, or the rest of my life, I stop paying the internet bill and I die. But for one of our lifetimes, you're going to have access. And I mean this sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I'm not just saying this. I hope you die first. Okay? But I'm not just saying it. You're going to get an online memory course. You're going to have to memorize names, numbers, books, poems, languages. You're going to get crazy sick good at names. All these real estate courses you're going to, and you have no plan on how to memorize all these new laws, you're going to have a plan. All your kids memorizing their history homework, they're going to have a plan. You're going to get a plan. You're going to get my speed reading course, my brain health course. You're going to get a private Facebook group where you can ask me questions at any time. Everybody will increase their memory 300%. Everybody will be able to hear 50 words forwards and backwards and say them. And that's when you're going to use that to remember information from the real estate classes. Your kids are going to use it to memorize their homework. It's going to help you remember names and faces. Remember what you learned from classes, and you're going to be able to meet 30 people in 30 minutes. How many of you, and remember all their names, how many of you in here are procrastinators? There's more than that. You're just going to raise your hand later. All right, Leslie. For you procrastinators, I'm going to give you a little kick in the pants, Michelle, for you to take action today. And here's the action. If you give this to me at lunch, you'll just find me right outside these doors. If you give this to me, it has to be at lunch. Draw a line through that 697 and write 397. So draw a line through that, write 397. If you have a team here and you want to get it for 3, I'm going to change that. I'm going to make this even more special. Change that 3 to a 4, which will be you plus 3 people. If you have a team, you and 3 other people, draw a line through that 2497 and write 997. But you have to give it to me for how many people? Plus, you're also going to get a Zoom call with me. So right here in this blank, you would either write 397 or 997. You would write your phone number, your email, your credit card number. I promise not to memorize it. And then you would sign it and date it. How many of you have kids in school? If you're one of the first 50 people, 50, if you're one of the first 50 people to give this to me at lunch, here's what I'll do. Draw a line through that $97 and write free. And then write your kids' names right there. Go ahead and just assume you're going to be one of the first 50 people because you're going to start filling it out right now. So when the door's open, you can hand it to me. So free for your kids, $397 or $997. I want to thank everybody for having me out here so much. Y'all were so awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm done.
Was that not entertaining? Amazing. Amazing, Ron.